Hi, I just did a really exciting thing and I'm super excited about it. I passed my Ezoic test. That's right, I printed out the certificate and I did that because it took me 5 months to pass the Ezoic test. If you have been in any live streams with me, you have probably heard me complain and complain at how long it has taken me to finish. I'm going to give you a couple tips about what I did, explain it so that hopefully you won't have to go through this. And also, I just want to give you a couple of ideas on how you can avoid this situation. Okay, so it took me 5 months to pass the test because I'm a 1 hour warrior like a lot of you guys. I have an hour to 2 hours a day to work on my website. And so I make sure that I am spending a lot of that time doing content. So early on when I first tried to join Access Now, I was going through the course piece by piece. I would listen to 15 to 20 minutes of it at a time. And so then I didn't realize that there was a test at the end. And when I got to the test, I bombed it. Like I did really bad. And that was really surprising to me because I do not have test anxiety. I have taken some really challenging state tests to become a math teacher and I passed those the first go. So it was a big blow to my self-esteem to have failed that test. So I decided, okay, well, I'm going to give it some time and then I'm going to try again. I wasn't like super far below. I think you need a 75 to pass. And I got either a 60 something or a 70 something, but just not quite passing. So when I went to take it again, I was sure. I was like, okay, this should be common sense. I'm a great test taker. Like there's no reason I should get any of these wrong. Yeah, I failed it a second time. I was smart enough the second time to go through and write down every question. I have my notes here. I ended up with 12 pages of handwritten notes to pass the Ezoic test. So if you have done really well, congratulations. I know some people who have gone through all the way and just gotten it first try. So if you want to go through it first try, here's my suggestion. When you sit down to do the Ezoic training, do all of it at once. In the end, I ended up having to go back through the course and taking the whole thing again. After I failed the test the second time, I went back thinking, I'm just going to write down those review questions from under the videos, and I'm sure that's going to give me all the information I need to pass the test. Well, when I went back into the Teachable portal and everything to go through the course, all the questions were cleared out because I had already answered them. And I freaked out for sure because that was my plan. And when that didn't work, I went into the Twist group. If you have joined Access Now, which is what the program is called at time of recording, they put you in a group on a platform called Twist. And it's basically like where you can get your support. And they were really responsive in there. So I went in and said, hey, I failed the test again, and I would really like to be able to write down the questions. And they said the only thing that we can do is clear everything that you've done, and you'd have to start again. And I said, fine, because at this point, I knew that I was going to have to go all the way through the course again anyway. So the representatives were able to clear all of my answers and all my progress from the course. And they did it pretty fast, so I was thankful. I went back through the course. I wrote down every question under every video and the correct answer. But in addition to that, I took notes on things that seemed important, like bulleted lists. Write down your bulleted lists, numbered lists, write down your numbered lists. One thing that was hard was there's 2 parts to the Ezoic Access Now test certification. The first part, I think it says optional, or it did when I started. I know they just really updated, but that part, there's a lot of questions from that on the test. I'm going to try to put together a little slide in here that's going to show you the different categories of things that are on the test. I'm not going to give away anything about the test because they did just add a disclaimer to the front that, don't cheat on this test. And so I'm not going to give you any of that information, but I can kind of let you know the categories that the questions are in. So I wasn't able to get back into that first optional shorter course, and there were some questions from there on the test. The stuff about name servers and edge servers and Cloudflare, and I didn't have notes on any of that. But I did the math before I took the test, and I knew that there are 35 questions, and I needed to get 25 correct. Or I had to get 26 correct in order to pass the test. So I actually kept a little tally sheet next to me as I was taking the test, and I tallied every time I knew I got one right. And I think that's a good idea, but I also tallied how many I got wrong, and that was a bad idea because I didn't know if I got them wrong. So like the ones I guessed on, I tallied, and that got to be really intimidating because all the ones at the front are the ones from that other course that I couldn't get. So go through the course, take notes, even if you can't get those questions at the bottom. Whoa. If you can be a smart note taker and just take notes on the important parts, you're going to need them to take the test. Sorry, I had to escape my car because there was a bug. But I took all those notes. I finally went through and was able to pass the course. I went ahead and printed out the certificate, and I finally got in, and I've already made 11 cents. So if you failed and failed, don't give up. I didn't, and I'm glad I finally got in. I have little kids, and I know you guys know that, but my baby, I still wake up in the middle of the night to feed my baby. So when my baby woke up at midnight, I got up, I went to my computer, and I stayed up until 3 a.m. and I just took as much of the course as I could take, and I finished it, but I was like super determined that I was going to get it done. And guys, I got it done. I printed my certificate, and I didn't print it like full paper because it was black, but I was like, blood, sweat, and tears for this thing, baby, blood, sweat, and tears.